What if your mind wasn't your own? What if the government could press a button and wipe your memory forever? It sounds like a cheap science fiction movie, but in the early 1950s, this wasn't fiction. It was the absolute top secret priority of the Central Intelligence Agency. The Cold War was freezing over. Paranoia was everywhere. The CIA was terrified that Soviet and Chinese spies had discovered a mythical drug for brainwashing prisoners. And the US government decided that they needed to figure it out first, at any cost. Welcome to the darkest, most terrifying psychological experiment in American history. Welcome to Project MKUltra. On April 13th, 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles signed a document that opened the gates of hell. He officially approved the project. But the man pulling the strings was an eccentric chemist named Sidney Gottlieb. Gottlieb wasn't your typical government agent. He drank goat's milk, grew his own vegetables, and studied Zen Buddhism. But inside his highly classified lab, he was known as the Poisoner-in-Chief. Gottlieb was given an unlimited black budget and absolutely zero oversight. His mission: find a biological substance that could break the human psyche. They wanted to force captured spies to confess their secrets. Or better yet, create the perfect mindless assassin who wouldn't even remember pulling the trigger. To achieve this, the CIA didn't just test on monkeys or willing volunteers. They tested on American citizens, completely in the dark. For over 2 decades, MKUltra operated through more than 80 institutions, hospitals, prisons, and prestigious universities. The CIA quietly funded rogue doctors to perform horrific, undocumented experiments. We are talking about extreme electroshock therapy, days of complete sensory deprivation, erasing people's memories by putting patients into drug-induced comas that lasted for months. But their absolute favorite weapon in this invisible war was a brand new, extremely potent synthetic hallucinogen. It was called LSD. The agency's obsession with LSD reached absolutely absurd levels. Enter a subproject known as Operation Midnight Climax. The CIA set up a fake luxurious apartment in San Francisco. They hired local prostitutes to lure completely random, unsuspecting men off the street. Once inside the bedroom, the men's drinks were secretly laced with massive, mind-breaking doses of LSD. Meanwhile, CIA agents sat behind a two-way mirror, casually drinking martinis, and watched their victims spiral into terrifying hallucinations, just to see what would happen. Nobody could go to the police, because who would ever believe a man claiming that government spies drugged him in a bedroom? But you cannot play God with the human mind without casualties. In November 1953, Dr. Frank Olson, an Army biological weapons researcher, attended a secret CIA retreat in a cabin in the woods. After dinner, Sidney Gottlieb secretly spiked Olson's cocktail with a heavy dose of LSD. Olson had a severe psychological breakdown. Days later, suffering from extreme paranoia, and telling his wife the CIA was going to silence him, Olson plunged to his death. He fell from the window of his hotel room on the 13th floor in New York City. The police called it a suicide. His family strongly suspected murder. It took over 20 years for the terrifying truth to finally surface. By the early 1970s, the paranoia shifted. The Watergate scandal was erupting, and the American public was finally waking up. Fearing exposure, CIA Director Richard Helms panicked. In 1973, he ordered every single file, every cassette tape, and every photograph associated with Project MKUltra to be completely destroyed. The Bonfire of Secrets erased over a decade of horrific crimes. But they made one crucial mistake. In their panic, they forgot about a hidden cache of 20,000 financial documents stored in a separate accounting warehouse. In 1977, those forgotten receipts were discovered. The ghost of MK Ultra had broken free. The government was cornered. Congressional hearings were held. Apologies were formally made to victims' families, including Frank Olson's. Sidney Gottlieb, the architect of this psychological nightmare, eventually died peacefully in his sleep, never spending a single day inside a prison cell. We are told Project MK Ultra was shut down. We are told the mind control experiments are a thing of the past. But remember, they successfully burned all the core files. The most advanced techniques of psychological manipulation were successfully learned, categorized, and weaponized. The project officially ended. But the real question that haunts America to this day is, did they ever truly stop? Or did they just get much, much better at hiding it?